Well, many fans were left stunned at the end of Across the Spider-Verse. We met a new version of Miles from Earth 42, and it was clearly a different time and space. And it turns out this universe has been greatly impacted by the Sinister Six. Let's break down the news and talk about how the Sinister Six is definitely impacting Beyond the Spider-Verse. Well, we've been talking a lot recently about Beyond the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse has done super well at the box office. It's been a big hit with fans, and it left us with a major cliffhanger. Now, the other day, we talked a little bit about the Earth 42 Miles Morales. If you've seen the movie, and this is a spoiler if you haven't, we get to meet the Earth 42 version of Miles at the end of the film. And in this world, Miles doesn't become Spider-Man, he actually becomes the Prowler. Recently, a art book was released that described lots of the film and some of the art that was developed, and it gave us a little bit of insight into this version of Miles. The other day we did a full video on it, I've linked it down below, and basically this version of the Prowler is a vigilante. Now, that has led to a lot of questions on why he's a vigilante, and now that same book seems to have revealed what's going on. But let's turn the clock back a little bit first. Way back in 2014, Sony Pictures was attempting to set up a Sinister Six movie with The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, shortly after that, the whole franchise got rebooted and Tom Holland became Spider-Man, seeming to shelve that whole project. But it's always been something that Sony has held close to their heart and really wanted to do. Now, as of right now, next March, we're supposed to get Beyond the Spider-Verse. If that happens, we'll have to wait and see. And it appears Sony Pictures is working the Sinister Six in once again. Now, this tease comes from a book that Sony Pictures recently published called The Art of the Movie, which discusses the animation process for Across the Spider-Verse. Now, this is where it was mentioned that this version of Miles Morales was a vigilante, but now we found out why he's a vigilante in this particular world. And it comes directly from Justin K. Johnson, who was the second Spider-Verse movie's director. In the book, he says, "The Sinister Six have been able to flourish and take over the world. Criminality runs rampant. We wanted to create a world where it felt like Aaron and Miles G. Morales of Earth 42 are the only heroes." Now, this totally explains the hostile reception that our Miles got when he entered Earth 42, and does set up quite the battle going into the final movie. This sets up some crazy dynamics for the third film. Not only do we have Miles G. Morales and his uncle Aaron on Earth 42 set up against the Sinister Six, we have our Miles Morales, who's likely to team up with them to take on the Sinister Six. We have Miguel O'Hara and his contingent of spider people trying to save the multiverse from Miles, and we have Gwen Stacy and her team coming to save Miles, all converging on Earth 42 with the superpowered villain The Spot driving the whole story. Now, honestly, this does not surprise me that the Sinister Six might be showing up in this film, because like we said, this has been huge for Sony since day one. The Sinister Six are Spider-Man's ultimate team of villains, and it's something they've wanted for a really long time, and this might be the perfect spot. One of the big questions about the Sinister Six is what's the lineup? We've got a lot of great Spider-Man characters in this franchise and some cool variations, including Dr. Octopus and the Vulture. So I'm super curious on which members of the team show up in this movie, and the creative possibilities for all of them should set up for some great battles and dynamics. Now, Beyond the Spider-Verse is currently set for a March 29th, 2024 release, but I think the odds are really long that this film actually gets released then. Recently, Lord & Miller have made it super clear the movie will be done when it's done, and they're not going to be confined by the release date, so I fully expect this to be moved. When we finally get to see the Sinister Six come to life on the big screen, we're going to have to wait and see.